Regarding the serve, we have, of course, some new images starting from a different position. I want to talk about the grip a minute, because we can have some possible regression and maybe some tools that we can use. When I say the crab grip, of course, we have the crab movement, which is going to be the side step for the kids. But the crab grip, which is not ideal for very little kids and for people with very small hands, because the fingers are going to go through the strings. But for some adults that can actually hold the racket up here without getting hurt and without getting the fingers inside the strings, it could actually be, and it has worked sometimes, to teach the pronation movement. So starting from the telephone position, you're not allowed, you cannot really change grip if you keep a flat wrist over here. So you are forced to go in with the edge of the racket and then really do this pronation movement if you keep everything flat over here. So that could be something to really teach the basic of the serve. Talking about the serve, of course, you want to know how you want to hold the ball. Some people teach it in a different way. What we try to teach over here is holding the ball like a glass of water, which is going to give you more consistency in the toss. If you start holding the ball like this, then you have more levers. If you hold the ball straight like a glass of water, then you lock the arm and then you only have one lever to think about, and basically you only got to focus on when to release, when to spread the fingers so that the ball is gonna fly out. Last thing about the toss, we teach a short toss. We don't teach a skyscraper toss, because the higher you toss, the higher the ball comes down, and that's just a fact, and that has been proven by Vic Braden in the 70s and in the 80s. And yes, so we just gotta make sure that we're on the same page, that we're not tossing the ball up to the moon and then it's coming down with icicles on because it went through the clouds and everything. So that's something I hope we agree upon. A tool, medieval torture that I created. I probably stole somewhere, but that's a Velcro, and that's a, what's it called? Thing for the tool. Basically, I put this thingy in between. It's a bolt. I put the bolt in between my index finger and my middle finger, and that's gonna force my base knuckle on side number 2, and then of course I can be dumb and play around with the heel pad, but we try to teach that the heel pad stays on side number 2 as well, and that's a form of forced teaching, which the kids really don't like, but help them understand sometimes what it means to keep a continental grip, a hammer grip, and hopefully it helps some remember how to hold it. So that's something else, and I have made like 45 of them, so if you want, just let me know, because I made them for the summer camp, and it was failed experiment because the kids hated it, but it's okay, but it helps some kids. Yes, glass of water, short toss, new images. We start, I go back here. We start on the skateboard, balance forward, handcuffs, okay? Handcuffs to relax the hitting arm, racket on top. We turn, and then we toss, and from the side view, which I'm gonna show now, from the side view, it is gonna look sort of like a letter J. Again, different school of thoughts, my own serve. I learned it when I was little. I never did the letter J toss, never worked for me. I toss it parallel with my left foot out in front. It works. I turn after I toss, and then it's just more complicated to find the timing. So the easiest way to find the timing is making sure the first you turn, then you toss, and then you're ready to go and hit the serve. What else? Timing, super important as we're pushing off with the legs, okay, which now hopefully you can see. As you're pushing off with the legs, the racket should be in the salute position, all right? So we get in the salute position and then we push off, because if the racket is down here and then we push off, we lost all the momentum, and that's a very common mistake, and it's really complicated to fix, but that's something that if you see all the best servers, they do it correctly. So they are in this position as they're about to push off with the legs, and then they accelerate. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. Said on the overhead as well, you don't want to drop the left arm and then hit like this, because that's not going to work and that's just going to hurt your rotator cuff. So that's also important for technique, injury prevention. Make sure that the shoulders are fine and that at contact we have a power line at a 45-degree angle with the hips and the upper body looking at the right net post, not at the left net post, hitting the ball like we are diving off a ship. So yes, that's what I've got about the serve.